Blockchain has many admirable features, such as cryptographic security and decentralization, that make it quite a catch with developers and users worldwide. But with this, there are many drawbacks, such as poor scalability and the fact that most projects cannot function on other networks. Flux is designed to counter this limitation. This video will look at Flux's blockchain as a business platform and how it solves the blockchain industry's problems. Flux is a cloud-based decentralized network designed to enable the development and deployment of interoperable and scalable blockchain applications. It's where you go to build a decentralized application or smart contract that you can easily use more on than one type of blockchain. Let's say, for example, you want to use it on Ethereum, Cardano, or Polygon. Flux applications are capable of transcending the limited applications to their own chain. So, yep. Flux has its own chain and native token, and like many of its applications, it's particularly functional on the Flux blockchain, but can also operate on 7 other chains. The project promised to integrate more blockchain options. Its entire infrastructure aided its integration with 7 other blockchains with which it operates. For now, the chain is interoperable with 7 other chains. These include Solana, Ethereum, Tron, Binance Chain, Kadena, Ergo, and Avalanche. As with other cloud-based blockchain consensus, Flux has a network of nodes that contribute their computing resources to support the network and get Flux tokens as rewards for their efforts. Each network node combines with others to provide computing resources that dApps built within and outside the Flux ecosystem use. A developer can migrate his application from the Ethereum network to the Flux ecosystem for better functionality, scalability, and speed. When we say Flux is a blockchain service platform, we mean that it renders its blockchain as an infrastructure for developers in the crypto space to deploy their codes and applications. It's similar to common cloud service providers and hosting services like Google Cloud and Amazon Web Services. The difference is in the fact that Flux operates in a decentralized internet environment. Flux has had a great relationship with other blockchains, and its links are maintained throughout the use of what is known as parallel assets. Parallel assets are a group of tokens that are actually the native tokens of the other blockchains, but are actually a part of the Flux ecosystem. As a result, these parallel assets are a few, but only one for each blockchain where Flux services are operational. Developers love Flux because it lets them build the apps fairly, easily, and fast. And the best part is that the apps can be used on other blockchains. As of now, we have about a score of dApps already working on Flux. It'll surprise you that you're invested in some well-known Flux apps. Aave and Yearn Finance are 2 of the most popular crypto-related projects that have a presence on Flux. Minecraft players have also found a great use for Flux by hosting Minecraft servers on the Flux chain. Zcash is the parent project from which Flux is derived. The project launched in 2018, and when it launched, it was first referred to as Zcash, and its native token was called Zel. After 3 years of running as Zcash, it rebranded to Flux, and its coin has become known as Flux. There was a bit of confusion when the new token ticker was used. At the time, 2 other crypto projects already bore the same name: Datamine Flux, a DeFi protocol, and Flux Protocol, an Oracle-based service that also bore the ticker Flux. But with time, investors learned to know the difference between the 3 projects. Flux has a couple of network nodes that act as miners to oversee the validation and invalidation of transactions on the chain. It was formed out of Zcash, while Zcash branched out of Bitcoin, and we know that Bitcoin is built on the proof-of-work consensus. Therefore, Flux shares the same governance protocol. How does the Flux ecosystem stand out from the chains that precede it? The key weakness of the proof-of-work model that powers Bitcoin and Zcash is that it consumes massive amounts of cheap electricity. However, Flux advocates green energy, and the developers have come up with solutions to remediate the energy-consuming defect of the POW model. Flux uses a modified type of POW called the proof of useful work. I know that sounds corny, so let me explain. The team found a way to channel all the energy used for solving cryptographic puzzles to solve some real-life challenges. First, the POUW can detect deepfakes which present a problem in today's artificial intelligence. Deepfakes are synthetic media phenomena that allow someone in an image or video to be replaced with someone else. It doesn't matter how long ago the pictures or videos were taken or recorded, this can result in cases of criminal impersonation and identity theft. The second thing is that POUW helps to carry out research processes that often need heavy computational power at cheap energy costs and at a rather high transaction speed. Like Bitcoin, Flux mining is based on a hashing technology. Its mining algorithm is known as Zcash. This algorithm holds an advantage over Bitcoin. Zcash doesn't require ASIC mining. You don't need expensive ASIC CPUs that consume high energy. Flux's mining operations are done using GPUs, which consume less energy than ASIC machines. Every mining node is tasked with servicing each block created in the network. It's much easier to mine on Flux than its counterparts who use POW, such as Bitcoin, Dogecoin, etc. The ecosystem also has a lesser block time of 2 minutes compared to Bitcoin's 10-minute block frequency. As Flux miners, you can earn rewards every 2 minutes if you can validate a block in time. The reward is still fairly high. Each node generates 75 Flux, and the system splits its 50-50 between the running nodes and the miners. So on average, miners get 37.5 Flux for every block they fill. There are additional rewards that miners can benefit from, such as certain parallel asset tokens. A Flux shared node program called Titan rewards miners with bonuses worth of 0.5 Flux for every transaction. But it's similar to Bitcoin in that its rewards will be halved every 2.5 years as time passes. But exactly how do parallel assets work? These assets make it possible for the Flux architecture to operate on other chains. As stated earlier, 7 blockchains are linked to the ecosystem, while Flux is the core central token of the chain. The parallel assets to the 7 chains are with the prefix Flux. There are Flux ETH, Flux KDA, Flux AVA, Flux BSC, Flux CRG, Flux SOL, and Flux TRX. These tokens also correspond to the token standard of their native blockchains, such as ERC20 and BEP20. In this form, these tokens can be sent from their host chains to Flux. The coins can then be converted into Flux tokens using the Fusion app, which acts as a bridging DApp for swapping Flux tokens. Flux tokens are used for many purposes, such as rewards for miners, running network nodes, governance. The network is completely under the control of the Flux coin. However, the community governs the coin via a decentralized entity called XDAO. To use Flux tokens on the network, you need the Zelcore app. The ecosystem also encourages staking despite not operating on the proof-of-stake consensus. To stake, you need at least 50 Flux to join a staking pool. Each stakeholder can stake up to 20,000 Flux. At launch, the total supply of Flux tokens was 440 million tokens, but the circulating supply is about 278 million. When the coin launched under Zel, it traded at around 3 cents in 2018 for 3 years. There was nothing to write home about as it could not break the upper limit of 30 cents, which was its all-time high. But 2022, despite being a gloomy year for most cryptocurrencies, was a little nice to Flux coin price as it hit a new all-time high of $3.33 per coin. Also, it's since fallen to 84 cents. This upheaval in its price is not beyond normal for any cryptocurrency. We've seen how everything has endured swings here and there for over a year and a half. There are hopes that the market will undergo a swift recovery and we'll get to see some pretty awesome performance by Flux's price action. Flux remains one of the rare projects that can truly provide scalability via its decentralized cloud infrastructure. The ecosystem should expand more into other blockchains, and an influx of developers will create greater utility for Flux tokens and add more fuel to the platform's growth. There's still so much to look forward to in the Flux chain. The developers of the Flux chain are already working to release the Flux OS app, which can be used on devices such as Android, Apple, and desktop. The application runs on Flux and it allows users to build, monitor, control, and renew the decentralized applications. The data accumulated by the developers can be synchronized across all devices. We're also awaiting the release of 2 new parallel assets, which will bring the number of parallel assets on the Flux network to 9. The The network can take up to 10 parallel assets in its current infrastructure, and as the network expands, we may begin to see more. But for now, following the snapshot of the wallets holding substantial amounts of Flux tokens, which occurred on the eve of Halloween, the eligible wallets will receive 8.8% of the Flux in their wallets in the form of the new parallel assets. As to the identity of the said parallel tokens, that's a secret that Flux network developers are holding close to their chest. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you learned something, and I'll catch you in the next one.